Hey love, so bringing you another weekly message. I was in reflection and prayer this morning, and God brought to remembrance this hiking trip that I went on about maybe 2 years ago. So a friend of mine had invited me on a hiking trip, and I've never been real hiking before. Now I know that there's a difference. I had only been on trails and done different like low level trips like that. So when she invited me to go, I was just like, yeah, no problem. I love being outdoors for like walks, and I just feel like I hear from God a lot. So like this is gonna be perfect. And then she showed me the pictures of the overview that's at the end of the hike, and I was just brought in. It was beautiful. It was just like God just painted it himself, right? The picture himself. And I'm like, if it looks like this on Instagram and on these pictures, then I can only imagine what it will feel like to actually be able to experience it. So I was like, yep, absolutely. Let's go. Let's do this. So we drive upstate New York to go to this mountain, and we get there. And I'm like, okay, well, how far is this? So I can't remember at the time what she said. She ends up saying something, but none of us know the language. So none of us really know what that really means. We just know that it's a pretty far walk there and back. But again, in my mind, I'm thinking it's flat land, like it's not going to be that bad. I can endure the distance. So I thought. So we're walking, we're excited, we're, joyful, we're talking, and we're walking, 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 and we're walking. And we finally get in about maybe 2 hours in, and we're just like, okay, y'all, like my body's starting to hurt. How much further is it? I don't think we can do this. Or if y'all do it, I don't know if I can do it. I think I might want to turn back around and go back, and y'all just tell me how it is, because not only was it the time was passing by, but it also didn't look like that we were going to ever reach the destination that we were going to. And as we're walking, we're also seeing people walk back. So we're asking them at this point, like, how much longer? Because we're trying to check in to see if, like, is this really going to be worth it? And because we're losing our joy, we're losing our stamina, we're tired now, our bodies are starting to hurt and whatnot. And everybody who we came across was just like, oh, it's not that much further. Oh, it's not that much further. But nobody actually gave a time. But we decided, you know what? We came this far. Let's just keep going. We rested a little bit, and then we kept walking. Maybe about another 45 minutes to an hour, we get to this very, very rocky mountain, part of the mountain. It's almost like, you ever see those pictures of goats standing on the mountain? It's like, how did you even get there? That's exactly what it looked like. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, God, like, I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know if I can even go any further, because my body hurts. And yet you want me to climb up this mountain that I have to act like Spider-Man to even get up. Anyway, I get up top. We finally go, because everybody's like, no, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You're almost there. You're almost there. We're like, we've been hearing that we're almost there for a very long time, right? And so we decide, you know what? We're going to keep going. Let's just press forth. And if it's not on the other end of this, then, we'll just count it a loss and just say we tried, right? Like we worked really hard. So we tried. And so we, we all climb up the mountain. And as soon as we got to the final peak at the very top and stood up, we can see that we were right there overlooking the valley. And I guess it's the Hudson River. But when I tell you the view and the scenery of it, we just sat and we just basked in the beauty of all that was there. It was like the pictures were phenomenal, but actually sitting in it was something completely different. Like, you don't even have the words to be able to express or to explain it. And so why do I tell you about this hike? Because in the middle of praying over the fast, I realized that we're in the middle of the journey. And one thing that God ended up showing me was that during this portion of the journey, it's in the middle where we are at a threshold that we end up getting to this space where we are no longer pressing in as eagerly or as excited as we were. The adrenaline to start the journey, it's probably have worn off by now. And so if you are either doing this purpose fast with us or just in life in general, and you feel like you've been on this journey and it's just like, God, when, like, can you do it now? I've been doing this for a while now. Like, I want to be able to see what you shown me. And he reminded me to continuously remain in the same heart posture that we were in when we started the journey, to not allow the time that has gone by to start to draw us back into a place of complacency, to draw us back into this place of comfort, to draw back into this place of even pride, where we feel like, okay, I got this, no big deal, because that's where the enemy is more than likely to really start to attack, really start to come in, really start to mess with you, to be able to say, you've been on this journey for a while, you ain't see it yet. You sure you heard from God? You sure you should be doing this, right? And just all of the other things that will go into it. And sometimes it's not the enemy. Sometimes it's just naysayers that are around us and in our circle. And so in the same way that we had to remember on that hike what we knew we would be meeting at the ends, what we knew we would see at the end, it was worth it to start. And so allow it to be worth it to finish, to press forth, to endure. God had brought us that far, not to just bring us that far so we could turn back around and say we tried, but he brought us that far to show us how much through him, right, through his strength, and him strengthening us and fortifying us, that we are able to do, how much we are able to endure. And so he's building your capacity right now. And so this isn't the time to withdraw. This isn't the time to take it easy or take it slow. He's actually like, no, pick up your momentum again, pick up your pace again, pick up your speed again, because as you start to slow down, you give the enemy time to even catch up to you. And so I pray that this has encouraged you. If you found yourself in a place, as I mentioned, if you're on the fast where you're just like, I don't know, I'm not hearing from God, and it's already day, 15? He going 15, 16 by now, and it's just like, is this even worth it? Or you've just been on this journey with God and trusting him for what he showed you, but you aren't seeing the changes yet. I encourage you to sit with him today and just ask him to show you how you can press in deeper. What are some things or some ways in which he is calling you and drawing you in even closer to him, so that way you can pick up your pace again, so that way you can pick up your speed, so that way he can increase your stamina and your endurance, and that way you can carry the joy that you had with you from the time, from when you started to your ending point, right? To the finish line. So don't grow weary. Trust in him. His word never returns void. And I promise you that if you continue to press forth, that you continue to draw in closer to him in this moment in time, that promise that he showed you or spoke to you is going to be even bigger than what you are thinking and what you imagine it to be.